And then Dak Prescott. He's got that huge cap hit of nearly $60 million hanging over the Cowboys, so he has a ton of leverage. My understanding is that the Cowboys will prioritize Prescott. They want to pay him and probably want to pay him first before all their other stars like CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. But their actions so far have been described as passive. They've had some early talks, but probably not hard negotiations yet. But there's a lot of time left before the season that will probably shake out in the next few months.
Okay, you heard it right there. Nothing has changed. This is more of the same of what we've been hearing from the Cowboys all offseason long. They have clearly not changed their stance at all. And I personally, and I'm honestly addressing this because a lot of you guys are interested about where my mind is and how I feel about it and what I'm thinking and where my confidence lies as it pertains to Dak Prescott re-signing with the team. And I'll continue to tell you what I've told you all offseason. Let me know when training camp starts and these deals aren't done. If training camp begins and these deals aren't done, at that point is when I'll actually feel like there may be an issue as it pertains to the negotiations. Deadlines make deals. Jeremy Fowler just reported that the Cowboys are still trying to make deals with their top 3 guys. However, he just revealed the priority as far as whom they want to make deals with first and when. Let's go ahead and get into it as we discuss this, and also how this whole offseason honestly is creating a disturbing trend, or honestly creating a disturbing culture amongst Cowboys fans. And we got to do some course correction before it gets out of hand, y'all, because to be quite honest, y'all are falling for exactly what everyone else in the NFL wants you to fall for. Yeah, so I've been seeing a bunch of headlines just like this. The Cowboys are the biggest losers of the 2024 offseason. And people feel that way because the Cowboys haven't made any splashy moves. They haven't done a ton of adding to their roster. They haven't brung in a lot of big name guys or made any moves that would grab any headlines and drive engagement. And because of that, the Cowboys are apparently the biggest losers of the 2024 NFL offseason. However, I would completely argue against that. And I would say that these contracts getting done, that would completely flip my personal perspective on this offseason and how it's gone so far. You see, the only thing that I have concern with is getting our 3 guys signed in a timely fashion so there's no love lost or no more drama. Just as a fan from personal perspective, I'm tired of the drama. I'm not concerned, not one bit, whether or not they're going to re-sign Dak Prescott or CeeDee Lamb or any of those other guys, because the facts are the Dallas Cowboys as a franchise throughout the history of their franchise, they've never done 2 things. One, they've never let a franchise QB or someone that they've designated as a franchise QB leave this team before his career is up, meaning usually when guys are franchise quarterbacks for the Cowboys, they're Cowboy lifers. They don't put on another jersey. Danny White, Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach, all these guys played for one team and one team only, and that was the Dallas Cowboys. And they also don't let 88s walk away. At minimum, any guy that wears the number 88 for the Dallas Cowboys has played here for at least 9 to 10 seasons, with Dez Bryant being the one guy that actually played for another team in his career. Michael Irvin and Drew Pearson did not play for another franchise in the NFL because they had that number 88. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't think that mothball huffing old men like Jerry and Stephen Jones don't care about tradition and sticking to standard and all that other hoo-ha, then you're out of your mind. I suspect that we will not see the trend that this organization has established changed, not one bit. And I think that as fans, everyone just needs to do what Aaron Rodgers said and RELAX. Relax. Why do I say that? One, I think the contracts are going to get done. I suspect they're likely going to get done prior to training camp, which, if you know, that starts towards the end of July. So essentially, we honestly got a whole nother 30-day window, 30-plus day window before the real deadline approaches for getting these contracts done with these Cowboys players. So as fans, you're going to see a whole bunch of foolishness. You're going to see clickbait. You're going to see people having these conversations and talking about, oh, Dak can play here. These teams want him. He could end up here. And it's all hogwash. It's all BS. It's all trying to just pay some bills right now, because the Cowboys have made it very clear where they stand. And looking at it from literally any angle outside of a hate-filled rhetoric would show you that their best move is to pay their guys and move on. Those of y'all that are so ready to move on and get a new quarterback and all this other stuff, I just want you to know, Jerry Jones doesn't feel the way that you feel. The actual decision makers in this franchise, they don't feel the way that we as upset fans may feel as it pertains to their playoff losses. They have made it clear they are happy with the trajectory of their franchise and the direction that they are going in. And not only that, gross wise, they're at the peak of their powers and making a ton of money. So if your franchise is putting a decent product on the field every single year, you're winning a ton of games, you're making it to the playoffs, you're driving excitement for your fan base, whether you guys want to be all pessimistic or not. And I'm about to address that in just a second, because those of y'all that are living your lives through pessimistic lenses, you guys are actually punishing yourselves twice. From the Joneses' perspective, they're winning, they're putting a good product on the field, they have players with a ton of star power on the team, they're going to be able to drive merch sales and all that kind of stuff. And literally from every aspect outside of bringing home a Lombardi trophy, the Cowboys as an organization, they're running like a well-oiled machine. So from a business standpoint, those of y'all that like to talk about all the time, Jerry cares more about the business than the football aspect. From a business standpoint, you don't rock the boat right now. If you're a Cowboys decision maker, you just don't. You're making tons of money and your team is winning enough games to where they're competitive every season and they look like they have a chance to win. So there's literally no reason to change out important core pieces outside of trying to appease the angry, loud, vocal minority within the Cowboys fan base, because whether you want to believe it or not, you guys are the vocal minority. You may go to every single post, every page, every thread you can find and try to talk down on Dak Prescott and talk about how he doesn't need to be here, how you ready to move on. But guess what? Majority of us understand, especially those that know football, majority of us understand, hey, this is just what we have to deal with, and we just got to keep taking cracks at this thing while the team is prepared and equipped to take cracks at this thing. And as far as the other fans in the fan base that are just pessimistic, they're trying to adopt this mind state where they're going to make themselves sad about the upcoming season, or they're going to expect the worst from the upcoming season so that they don't enjoy anything else that's going on in the meantime, and they don't get their hopes up and then get their feelings crushed towards the end of the season. But is that actually working for y'all? I can tell you as a Cowboys fan that has tried to temper my expectations through the years. I've actually tried that approach. And one thing that I realize is I can act like I don't care all season long. I can act like I expect them to suck all season long. But guess what? If they actually suck, if they actually get their brakes beat off of them, if they actually lose in the playoffs, it still hurts. Whether I'm acting like it won't or not, it still hurts. So guess what? Guys that are approaching, rooting for this team from a pessimistic standpoint because you're trying to, I don't know, protect your pride from what? From other fans making fun of you because your team loses when literally 30 other teams in the NFL every season, 31 other teams, they lose every single year, y'all. It's not just Cowboys fans. So stop letting other fan bases and media make you feel bad about being excited to watch your team play the sport you love to watch them play. It's as simple as that. That's at its core, that's what being a fan is about. As Cowboys fans, it amazes me how we let people dictate our approach to cheering for our team due to fear of ridicule, when you're really only punishing yourself twice by having this pessimistic approach to the season. You're punishing yourself twice. You're punishing yourself once whenever it actually happens, whenever whatever you're fearing actually happens, and you have to feel that feeling that you get when it happens. So when they finally lose in the playoffs and you actually just feel your stomach sinking, you're like, God dang it. Even if you try to temper yourself like, well, we're going to lose, you still are going to hurt. And if you're not hurting, that means you're not even a fan of the team. So what are you talking about? If you have no emotional connection, you can just shut your emotions off and not feel anything, that means you're not even a fan of the team. So you need to do better in investing your time in stuff that you are actually passionate and care about. Why are you investing your time in something that you're completely apathetic towards? That makes no sense, right? So you're hurting yourself, you're punishing yourself mentally, physically, physiologically. You're punishing yourself when the thing that you're fearing actually happens, but you're also punishing yourself, especially if you take a pessimistic approach, you're punishing yourself twice because you're busy mourning the loss or the fear of whatever it is you don't want to happen happening before it happens. So you're literally mentally punishing yourself 2 times. Those of y'all right now that are, oh, I'm not even going to be excited for the upcoming season. Oh, I'm not going to cheer this team. Oh, I'm going to poo-poo every move that they make. Oh, I'm going to be mad and angry about every single thing they do. Oh, they're not doing what I want them to do. I'm upset. Guess what? All you're doing is you're making yourself mad right now. You're making yourself feel those negative emotions right now. And then whenever the outcome of the season happens, you're going to be feeling those negative emotions again. Versus someone that's actually being a real fan, like a Buffalo Bills fan who's never won a Super Bowl. That team has never won a Super Bowl. But we don't hear people ridiculing Bills fans for feeling like they can win a Super Bowl as long as Josh Allen's on that team, right? The team's never won a Super Bowl. Atlanta Falcons fans never won a Super Bowl. Cincinnati Bengals fans never won a Super Bowl. Cleveland Brown fans never won a Super Bowl. Detroit Lions fans never won a Super Bowl. Houston Texans fans never won a Super Bowl. Jacksonville Jaguars fans, Los Angeles Chargers fans never won a Super Bowl. But all of these teams, they have one thing in common. They have guys at key positions that gives their fan base a reason to be grateful to actually watch guys play the game that they love to watch. As fans, you're grateful to watch a Justin Herbert. You're grateful to watch a Josh Allen. Those fan bases are excited about their upcoming seasons, regardless of whether or not they truly believe they can win a Super Bowl. By and large part, they're excited. And guess what? No one's making them feel bad about being excited for the upcoming season. No one is trying to convince them that their team just had the worst offseason out of every NFL team in the entire league. Especially when you can go back and literally look at the Cowboys transactions, and the biggest thing we lost was our left tackle who's almost 40 years old. That's the biggest thing we lost. And a bridge gap defensive tackle. Stephon Gilmore hurts, but essentially you're replacing him with Trevon Diggs in the lineup. The offensive line is a lot younger now. They got studs on it. It's a little bit cheaper now. The running back room is in better shape than it was last year. I'm sorry. I'm taking Ezekiel Elliott, Rico Dowdle, Royce Freeman, some of the other pieces we got, over Tony Pollard, Rico Dowdle, and a Deuce Vaughn. I'm taking that running back room. Our wide receiver room didn't change much. Like I said, our offensive line got a little bit of an upgrade. The defense, if anything, they may be a little bit better this season based off the guys that we have in position, and the fact that the linebacker room, by and large part, is going to be a lot better now. A lot better now, right? So the Cowboys, how do we have such this disappointing offseason just because we didn't make moves when we had a team that had 8 to 9 all-pros on it? Clearly, we didn't need to make nearly as many roster moves as other teams in the league needed to make. So obviously our transaction log is going to be shorter than other teams. But yet, Cowboys fans still allow other fans and media members to dictate how they approach cheering for their team. So again, I ask you, are you going to allow these outside entities to essentially weaken the fandom within our fan base and weaken the impact of our fan base and create this golf club culture at AT&T Stadium to where other teams feel comfortable coming and playing in there? They can hear all the calls the QBs are making. They can communicate with each other pre-snap because it's not ravenous and loud in there because everyone's sitting on their hands because they're cheering from a position of fear. Because they fear how the season is going to end up versus, and this is with anything in life, versus taking it day by day and enjoying the freaking process. Enjoy the process. Feel that negative emotion once when it actually happens. When we actually lose, feel that negative emotion. Let it burn. That's what being a fan is about. But why would you make yourself feel this negative emotion, try to essentially battle yourself all season long to try to keep your own positive emotions in check about the team that you want to root for, but you're gonna battle yourself all season long to try to make yourself take this negative or I guess apathetic approach to cheering for a team that you're a fan of? None of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. Don't allow all this offseason drama, the contract stuff, and everyone having comments about contracts. I'm sorry, man. Trevor Lawrence just should have ended any conversation about what Dak should or shouldn't get, bro. He hasn't accomplished a damn thing in the NFL. And those of y'all that try to make the argument, oh, he's younger, XX, you sound stupid. He's accomplished less. He's proven less. I don't care how old he is. Because he's younger, that means he's supposed to get a bigger deal? You sound stupid. And that lets me know that those of y'all that are commenting on that type of thing, you're not professionals. You haven't achieved any sort of success in your life where you're in charge of making any kind of deal or of taking part in any type of negotiations, because negotiations don't go based off of, oh, you're young, so you got potential, so I'm going to pay you more than the guy that's proven that he can give results that are better than yours. That's not how things work. But yeah, either way, man, stop letting everyone dictate how we as a fan base fan. Stop letting everyone dictate what's okay or what's reasonable for us as Cowboys fans to think or to feel about our team. Especially guys that's not even rooting for our team. Especially dudes that's only rooting for a couple of players off the team because they want most of the team to fail because they want a certain guy to look bad. Like, this mindset, this pessimistic mindset makes absolutely no sense to me. I think it does more harm than it does you good as a fan, because essentially what you're doing is, until the team finally wins the Super Bowl, what you're saying is you're committing to being miserable or apathetic about your team year round. At that point, you're not a fan. All right? But that's all I got to say about all this. The contract thing, more of the same. We already know they're going to get done. Deadlines make deals. Not worried about who's get done, when it get done, anything like that. When training camp gets around, that's when we can really start having these conversations about these contracts. But until training camp, anything leading up to that is just filler. It's just fluff. And honestly, it doesn't mean anything until deadlines really come around and deals have to be made. That's all I'm saying. Either way, we still the same old Cowboys. Be sure to subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content. Check out my description in the pinned comment below so you can check out some Dak Attack merch. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.